Hi all, this is Papaya at Papaya Pythons, here with you today to show off another morph. This is Ludentus. He's our clown male, and the clown is a recessive mutation that affects pattern and color in ball pythons. And it's a really neat pattern. It's really diverse. So you can see 3 different clowns and they will all look very different. But it does have some characteristics that we'll point out to you today. So the first thing is the reason for the name, which is the face paint that appears to be on their heads. So if you look at Ludentus, and if he will hold still for us for a second here, you can see that he has a very strange pattern on the front of his head and around his eyes, almost like he's wearing eyeliner, and like he has a little bit of a smile here under his lip. So that, I think, is why they called it clown, but I didn't meet the person who named it, so I'm not 100% sure. When we look in contrast at the wild type, we can see that none of that sort of marking exists. And so it really makes a very different facial pattern. Then also, now that we have this wild type normal ball python next to him, you can see that their colors are very different. And this is a characteristic of clowns in that the dark patches, especially dorsally and laterally, have, instead of a constant pigment saturation, a sort of blushing, where it gets much less black and much more brown or yellow. Then also, when we look at the sides, we can see that while the wild type does have parts of the black from the dorsal stripe that extend down the sides laterally, they don't terminate before the underside of the snake. They sort of blend into the bottom. Whereas on a clown, it's traditional to have these teardrops. Those teardrops along the sides, like Ludentus has, are very characteristic of a clown. Now, what's not characteristic of him in particular is that he has these clean patterns in between his teardrops. Most clowns have spotting in between there, or spots that are large enough to even have a hollow center with a different color in the middle. He doesn't really have any of that spotting, except for on this side, he has one spot like that. So a lot of clowns have way more spots like that and way more small spots, but we would call him a very clean clown. His sides are very much just bright and colorful instead of having pattern draped across them, which is kind of neat. And then the other thing, of course, to look at is the belly. So on a wild type belly, some of those black dorsal patterns that went laterally come all the way down and hang out on the ventral side. Whereas in the clown, we have the patterns that were interrupted do show up again on the belly, but they show up as a lighter marking, sort of a brown and a yellow. And they also happen more towards the center, which is interesting. You can see these 2 teardrops specifically almost try to touch each other. That's what we have for you today, is a comparison between the recessive clown mutation and the wild type. For more videos like this, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, Google+, or visit our website. Thanks all!